Hey everyone's JackelWolf back in SkyFactory 4 with another 5 minutes. That's how I did it. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we have not made a, SkyFactory 4 tutorial video for quite some time. It has been months. It's been absolutely months since I've done a tutorial video in SkyFactory 4, mainly because I've been playing a lot of MC Eternal. That is a great little mod pack. I highly recommend it. But SkyFactory 4, a lot of people have been asking for me to do more videos in SkyFactory 4. And initially, I was kind of like, well, there's not a whole lot left for us to do. There's a couple of advancements here in the Age of Power, nothing super exciting. Like we did the Beacon before, we just didn't do it in this world. Age of Storage we got done, Age of Exploration we got done. Age of all of the things, OMG, LOL. There's a bunch of stuff that we've done in here that we're just waiting for the advancements to catch up to us. Like the black hole units, that's something that we, put together. But, it just takes a super long time to get them. Same thing here with like the compressed netherrack and the compressed sugarcane. We started that. We're just waiting for it to catch up. There's nothing super exciting about getting those ones anymore. Anyways, we did the cookie singularity. We did the cookie clicker as well. That's the super singularity. So doing a regular singularity, it's not super exciting. But so nothing really, big there. One thing that I should have done right off the bat, though, or 6 months ago, whenever was the last time I did a video, was the Fusion Reactor. So the Fusion Reactor is something that is, super useful in your world. And somebody actually gave me a good idea for a video to do after I do this. So I'm going back. I'm going to do this video. I'm going to get one of these in our world. And, because I'm putting one in the world, I might as well go big, or go home. So we're going to do the 24x24 Fusion Reactor. And then we are maybe going to give a shot for this 3,333,333 RF per tick, third times the charm advancement. I think the 24x24 will do that. So we should be okay there. But prepping for this video, I came to the realization that this Fusion Reactor is really, really difficult to get. Basically, it's a whole rabbit hole of, machine after machine after, block that you got to get before you can even build this thing. So for this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a couple of machines that we're going to need to build so we can build that Fusion Reactor machine next episode. So to start, we could go take a look at that recipe for the Fusion core. This is the tough one. All the other pieces are fairly simple. You just need an absolute ton of them. But the Fusion core requires these elite plating. The elite plating requires this crystal binder. Now, the crystal binder needs this crushed rhodochrosite and this calcium sulfate. These are things we don't have in our world, and we don't have a way of making them right yet. We also need some crushed obsidian and some magnesium dust. Those we've got. That is super simple. We don't need to worry about those. But the crushed rhodochrosite requires us to build a rock crusher. And then the calcium sulfate is actually going to need that rock crusher as well. And then like 4 or 5 different machines for us to use. So to get the rhodochrosite, we are first going to need some granite. To make granite in our world, we are first going to need some diorite. To make diorite, it is 2 cobblestone, 2 nether quartz. That gets us some diorite. If we put one of those diorites in a crafting table with 1 piece of nether quartz, that's how we get our granite. So the granite or granite, however you want to pronounce it, that's where we get our rhodochrosite. The diorite is how we're going to get that sulfur stuff, but that's a little ways away. So next up, what we're going to do is we got to build that rock crusher. That is going to take a advanced plating. So that is 4 tough alloy, 4 redstone, and 1 basic plate. We're also going to need a electric motor that is 4 steel ingots, an iron ingot, 2 gold nuggets, and 2 copper solenoids. We're also going to need some linear actuators. That is a steel ingot, some fairborn alloy, some copper, and some pistons. Now, we've built these all before, so I'm not going to get too detailed into how you build them. But they are, the NuclearCraft items. Actually, all of these are part of NuclearCraft. So very simple, very straightforward stuff we've done a million times already. But we're also going to need a machine chassis that is 4 lead, 4 steel, and then that 1 tough alloy. And then we're going to put them all together with the machine chassis in the middle, the electric motor in the top middle, 4 advanced platings in the corner, 2 linear actuators, and then another tough alloy. That gets us our rock crusher. And we're going to come over here. This is kind of where I've set up the rest of the machines because we kind of got a little bit of a power thing. And this is where I was kind of doing chemical stuff before. So it kind of makes sense to do it here. But we're going to go place this down, the rock crusher. Takes power, that's important. It also takes these speed and energy upgrades, which I've actually got some. I didn't put them in my inventory, so give me 1 second. Now, I highly recommend you upgrade these because it does make a big difference. If we take the granite, we're going to put it in here. You can see how slowly it is grinding that down. That is super, super slow. So speed upgrade, energy upgrade, and it just starts pounding out stuff. And there you go. We can see we've got our crushed rhodochrosite already. That's perfect. I'm going to let this fully empty out because we are going to need a fair bit of this. And so once this is done, then we'll go move on to something else. Okay, so that is all ready to go. You know what? What we need to do is let's take a look at that recipe again. So elite plating, crystal binder, crushed rhodochrosite, however you pronounce that, I'm not 100% sure. Next up is the calcium sulfate. This is where we really get into the rabbit hole. So if we start clicking on the recipe, we are ultimately going to need some calcium sulfate solution. To do that, we're going to need some fluorite water and some sulfuric acid. Fluorite water is going to require some crushed fluorite and then some water. So now to get the crushed fluorite, what we're going to do is we're going to come back over here to our rock crusher, and then we're going to run the diorite through there as well. And of course, that's what we have. There we go. There's our crushed fluorite. That's absolutely perfect. Again, we're going to need a little bit of this. It's going to take quite a bit of resources to make the 4 advanced plates. What are they called again? Elite plates. So we're going to need quite a bit of this crushed rhodochrosite to do that. But as soon as that is done, there we go. All right, so crushed fluorite, crushed carbohydrate, and zirconium. So the other thing we're going to need from here is the sulfur. Because we're getting the crushed rhodochrosite and the sulfur from here, this works out really, really well. But as you can see from that recipe that we looked at before, we're going to go back into it. So calcium sulfate solution, fluorite water. To make the fluorite water, we're going to need a fluid enricher and the crushed fluorite with some water. So to build a fluid enricher, we're going to need 4 of those advanced plates that we built earlier on, a hopper, a machine chassis, which we built earlier on, electric motor, which we built earlier on, and then 2 pieces of lapis lazuli. That gets us our fluid enricher. So let's come over here. We're going to place it on our little power station there. You can see it is fully powered. The recipe called for water. So I've got a bucket of water. Now you could pipe this in if you want. I'm not making that much of it. I mean, we are going to need, a fair bit, but I'm just going to go and rob it from my little water thing over here. Okay, so this is now full of water. What we're going to do is we're going to take that crushed fluorite, we're going to pour it in there, and again, it's going to start making this fluorite water. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Speed upgrade, energy upgrade. Fluorite water is exactly what we're doing. So this is going to go and fill up really, really quickly. What we probably should do, because we are going to have to double up on some of the machines, let's go and make ourselves some fluid tanks. All right, so fluid storage tanks, these are like really early game ways of holding liquids, but they're going to be really, really important. So we've got a little over 10 buckets of fluorite water in there. So I'm going to go and push this out, and then we'll be right back. Actually, I should be smarter about this because I'm pretty sure I've got some fluid pipes in here. Okay, fluid extraction cable, there we go. That should pull all that out there. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. So we can go take that out of the way. So we've got our fluorite water. That's absolutely perfect. Next up, we got to make some sulfuric acid. Now there's 2 different types of sulfuric acid. One I think is a little bit easier than the other one. That's the one we're going to try to work on. So I believe it's the NuclearCraft sulfuric acid. That's going to require sulfur trioxide or liquid sulfur trioxide and water. So what we want is the sulfur trioxide. Again, that's a little bit easier than the liquid sulfur trioxide, but that's going to require sulfur dioxide or liquid sulfur dioxide and liquid oxygen or oxygen. So we actually want to do the sulfur dioxide, not the liquid sulfur dioxide. That's going to require molten sulfur and oxygen. So to make molten sulfur, we are going to go and use the melter. This is just something very, very simple. And we're going to let's take half of that sulfur that we had in there. Oh, we got to power this up. So let's go. Can we pick that one up? Let's pick that up. And we're going to go put it right here. And there you go. So we now have a bunch of molten sulfur. That's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we want. So let's go take that out of that machine as well. There you go. So there is our molten sulfur. We're going to go and break that and place this over here. You can see I've got the muffler down below, and it just muffles everything in this area. It's kind of like, it's really kind of disconcerting sometimes when you expect something to make a sound. So we got the molten sulfur. That's absolutely perfect. Next up, we got to get oxygen or liquid oxygen. Again, the oxygen is the easier thing to get. So to get oxygen, we're going to need to build ourselves an electrolyzer, and then we're going to run water through it. This is the simplest of all the materials we've got right now. There's a ton of different things we could do. Water is going to be the simplest one. So to make an electrolyzer, we're going to need 4 of those advanced plates, a machine chassis, a graphite ingot, 2 copper solenoids, and an electric motor. We're going to take that over and let's go and place it here up against the power. And there you go. It is powered up, and now all we're going to do is fill it full of water. So we are going to need a fair bit of water, so I'm going to do a full little fluid tank here. It's definitely going to make things a little bit easier. And as soon as it's done, okay, perfect. We're going to go grab it. So what we could do is we could take the fluid extraction cable, and then we're going to go place that down there. And you can see it is now taking that water, and it's going to start converting it over into those 4 different recipes. I'm going to add some speed upgrades and some energy upgrades. Now you can see it's going quite a bit quicker. And what we need is the oxygen. It's going to give us hydrogen, deuterium, and I think it's just those 3 liquids we get from here. But these are the oxygen is the one that we really, really need. Okay, so the hydrogen, this one's kind of stopped right now. The hydrogen is full up. We don't really need it, so we're going to go shift-click to clear that tank. It's the oxygen's really the only thing we want right now. We'll clear that tank as well. And we're just going to let this run just a little bit longer because we are going to need a fair bit of this to finish off everything we want to do. Okay, so all that water has been processed. Let's get rid of that hydrogen, that deuterium. I don't think I can take it out anyways, but what we do want to do is get this oxygen out. So we can treat this oxygen like a fluid. We can put it into one of these fluid tanks. So I got a bunch more while we were waiting for that oxygen to be put away. So let's go and place this on the front and then place this here. And this should be oxygen. That's perfect. Is that everything in there? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we need. So we're going to go break that now. So we've got our molten sulfur, we've got our oxygen. What we need to do is run that through a chemical reactor. So this is something we haven't built yet. To make a chemical reactor, we're going to need 4 advanced plates, an electric motor, a machine chassis, a servo mechanism, and 2 pieces of glowstone dust. That gets us our chemical reactor. Let's come back over here and we're going to go place that down. Again, it's a powered item. We're going to put the 2 chemicals in here. For demonstration purposes, let's do the 1 bucket of the sulfur and then 1 bucket of the oxygen. I love the sound that makes. We're going to put that in there. And then this is going to make half a bucket worth of the sulfur dioxide. And we're going to speed that up. I was mistaken. You get 1 bucket, although you don't use up all the sulfur there. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up with the sulfur and the oxygen, and then we're going to go keep running this through here. Okay, I accidentally pulled out a bucket of sulfur dioxide. I didn't mean to do that, but this is the sulfur dioxide. Let's go place that in there, and then we're going to go break you. And what we're going to have to do is pull this out of here, so then we got it stored someplace safe as well. All right, so I got another fluid extraction cable. We're going to put that in there. We now have our sulfur dioxide, but we're not done with the chemicals yet. We've got to go and make ourselves some sulfur trioxide, which is going to take that sulfur dioxide and some oxygen again. So we're going to need more oxygen, which I've been producing over here. So again, let's go and take that there. Actually, how much? Yeah, we should be good to go. Take that down and place it here. Oh, we don't need the hydrogen. Let's get rid of that. The deuterium we don't need. Just this oxygen. That's all we are looking for right now. So there we go. We got some more oxygen. We've got our sulfur dioxide. Let's clean out. So shift click to get rid of that little bit excess molten sulfur. We only had 8 in there. This doesn't really make much of a difference. But what we want to do is we want to take this sulfur dioxide, and if we place it right here, oh, no, it's off center, right there, and then we can go place that in there. It's going to go suck it all up. We've now got the sulfur dioxide. Next up, what we're going to do is take the oxygen. We're going to take all of that, place it over here, and then that's going to get sucked up. and this is going to start producing the sulfur trioxide. This is what we need next. So what we want to do is flip this around and put it back into here. So there's our sulfur trioxide. Now we're going to mix it with some water. That's going to get us our sulfuric acid, which is one more step up away. Like I said, this is a little bit of a rabbit hole there. So what we're going to do is make sure there's nothing in here. This is full of oxygen. So we're just going to go get rid of it. That's unfortunate. I was kind of hoping to save that. We don't really need it, but just in case I need something a little bit later on. But what we're going to do is we're going to break that. We're going to take the sulfur trioxide. I keep putting it in the wrong spot. We're going to take the sulfur trioxide and then we're going to go feed it back into our tank here. Next up, what we're going to do is we've got to fill it with water. So I've used up all my water previously, so let's go grab a little bit more over here. Okay, so we got the water, so let's break this and then we'll add the water here. That's going to get sucked into here. And you see we are now making sulfuric acid, which is, we're getting close. We're getting very, very close here. And okay, that's everything we've got. So let's go and break this. And we'll break that, and we'll place that down. Fluid extraction cable, there is our sulfuric acid. So we are now one step away, well, two steps away really from finishing off what we need to get this calcium sulfate. So we need to take that sulfuric acid and some more fluorite water. So what we need to do is come in here, we're going to clear out that water. I don't know if it's recipe dependent, so let's take that out. And I was making some more fluorite water here, although we had a little bit over there. Let's break this guy and this guy. And we're going to go take that. I wish we could pick these up. It would be so handy if we could pick these up. Which one is which? So sulfuric, fluorite water is this guy right here. And fluid extraction cable, that's going to fill up. So we'll go take you and we're going to break that. Again, you can automate this probably super, super simple. Just because I don't need that much of it. It's not really worth my time to set up a whole automation thing, but we're going to go place that there. This is now produced. Oh, no, sorry. Now we get to put in the sulfuric acid, and that is this one right. Oh, you know why? Because this it's got water in it, or it's got something else in it. That's why. Now we got to go put it in there. That's why. Because these actually hold fluid in them. They're not a itemless thing. They actually hold the fluid. But here we go. So we now got our hydrofluoric acid, which is perfect. Do I have an empty tank? I don't have an empty tank on me. Okay, guys, so I made a little bit of a mistake here. I don't know what's going to show up in the video, but this, the fluorite and the sulfuric acid makes a hydrochloric acid, which we don't need, and I accidentally pulled it out. What we do need is this calcium sulfate. So you will have a green fluid in here first. It will be the first fluid that gets pulled out. You can shift-click it to get rid of it. That's what I did here, but I kind of did it out of order, so ignore the fact that it's not here. It should be here. We shift-click, get rid of it, because we don't actually need it. The calcium sulfate is what we need. So let's go place a empty tank there, and we're going to go click that. And there you go. We've got almost 7 buckets of calcium sulfate solution. So that said, we are almost done here. Calcium sulfate is the calcium sulfate solution run through a crystallizer that gets us our calcium sulfate. So to make a crystallizer, we need 4 advanced plates, 3 copper solenoids, a machine chassis, and a cauldron. That gets us our crystallizer. Let's come over. Where can we place it? Let's just place it on top here because I just need a place to put it. There you go. So it is now powered up. We just need a way to get our fluid into that spot there. So actually, I probably could have just kept it there. Which one is it? Fluorite, calcium sulfate solution. And then we're going to go pull that over. Hopefully that's not pushing in there. Okay, that's perfect. So it is now crystallizing the sulfate solution. We're going to go borrow those guys because I don't have enough. And there you go. So we now have some calcium sulfate. We do need a fair bit of this to make those advanced plates. So I may have to make some in between videos here, but we're going to need 4 of these elite plating, and each elite plating is going to require 4 of these crystal binders. And each crystal binder is going to require, I guess, for 2 crystal binders, we're going to require 1 calcium sulfate. So regardless, that's going to be for next episode. We might actually have enough. I'll be super happy if we do, because this, like I said, it is a super, super deep rabbit hole. There are other ways to get these resources using other chemicals and that. Check to see what you've already got in your world. I didn't have anything even close to that, so that's why I went with the ones that I did. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Next episode, we'll be on to the fusion reactor. I don't know how long this is going to be. It's about 40 minutes just for me to record this. It doesn't even include the amount of setup time and the dry runs I did just to make sure everything worked. Like, this was a really, really complicated one. Hopefully you guys followed it. Let me know if you got any questions. I'll do my best to help you get through it yourself. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf. Also, check out the description below. There will be a link to my Discord page. I would love it if you guys stop by to say hi. As well, there'll be a link to my Patreon page. If you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this content and you want to support, stop by, check it out. There are a lot of great perks out there for all of my supporters. But that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Good.